that sat on them benches. I never talked to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
What is going on, everybody? It is game week. I'm pumped. I'm excited. You on 863 Seminole TV. We are live on a Tuesday for episode 36. One of many episodes for this upcoming season. The depth chart dropped, so you already know we're going to rock out to the depth chart and see what we like and don't like there. What else has happened? Other than IMG playing an imaginary high school team, let's think. We got the depth chart. Last night, I decided to go ahead and I watched the condensed version of the Notre Dame game from last year. I'm going to go over what I saw. I actually watched the Notre Dame game. I watched the Louisville game. I don't know why I put myself through that. And I watched the North Carolina game. So we're going to go over all of that. We're going to go over just everything that's going to come up this week. What to expect. Man, it's game week. I had time today, so we're going to talk about everything that's going on. I'm excited, and I hope you guys are excited. Hope you match my energy here today. Let's do it. Before we start off with anything, shout out to Jay Oliver with the $10 Cash App donation before I even came on live. So shout out to Jay. I ain't even had to do a video and he shot me a donation. As always, none of that stuff goes unnoticed and it's very well appreciated. Let's hit the roll call up. See who all is in the chat. By the way, PODBEAN and Spotify, if you want to catch this episode, you can't watch it live here on YouTube. You're driving, working in the yard. I don't know. Whatever it is you're doing, that YouTube app can be very annoying because you got to keep it open. You can't do other things. You can't text. Hey, PodBean, Spotify, go check me out there if you just want to listen without all the hassle of keeping your YouTube app open. And I didn't even do my major introduction. It's your boy POLK, a.k.a. A.Lo, a.k.a. the goddamn truth. We in here. Let's go. Let's do this roll call and then let's get into everything that is everything. Noel Squad, Island Boy, Antonio, Tyler, Damien, Serve, Sammy, myself, Montre, Tay, Jeff. You know what, Jeff? I still got to make your thing. I still got to make your video whenever it is you donate. Speaking of donations, I see you, Jeff, with the $5 donation. Off the bat, I watched the replay Saturday night. Good show. Sorry, miss it. Hey, no big deal, Jeff. I appreciate you for being in here today. And we're going to start it off.
Let's clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
FSU Rose, the winner of the hoodie this past weekend. What is going on, brother? Rock Jersey. Hold on. This chat jumped on me. There you go. Rock, Jersey City. Priscilla. It's happy birthday to Priscilla, guys. Throw some cake emojis in the chat or wish her happy birthday. It's her birthday. I would ask you your age, but I was told to never ask a lady's age. So we're not going to do it. But happy birthday, Priscilla. Y'all wish Priscilla happy birthday. Again, throw some cake emojis in the chat or just wish her happy birthday. We a family over here. Damien, my man, y'all coming in strong here tonight. Another donation. Again, thank you. Never goes unnoticed and always appreciated. Since we had to start off with Jameis and the KB combo, Jameis says thank you, Damien. And everybody wishing Priscilla happy birthday. Polk, did you see Tate Martell transferred? Cam Newton might be playing for Bishop this upcoming season. If you didn't hear, Cam Newton got cut. Mac Jones, QB1 in New England. But that ain't why y'all here. Y'all ain't here for that. Let me take a drink. Jay Blast, McCray not even on the depth chart. We're going to talk about it. So let's not waste no more time. Depth chart. The depth chart drop. We'll get let's get special teams out the way. There it is on your screen. Depth chart drop. Now, keyword to this depth chart, if I read it correctly, it is a project. The team did release it, so it's not like some reporter or something, just like how I was doing my imaginary depth charts, right? Nope. This is a projected depth chart. Official projected, whatever that's supposed to mean. So I guess still subject to change. But we'll get the special teams out the way. Travis J still on kick return next to Ja'Kai Douglas, but it says Travis J or Corey Wren. They do have Jay Sean Corbin in the mix there too. Nothing. I kind of don't want to see. I mean, not that I don't want to see Travis J, but I do kind of want to see someone else. So hopefully Wren and Ja'Kai to me seems like a solid, two Louisiana boys back there. Seems like a solid combination. Could be interesting. Travis J at punt return. Again, we'll see what Travis J does there. Ryan Fitzpatrick. I know everybody was talking Fitzgerald. I know everybody was talking about who's going to win the kicking job, right? Well, Fitzgerald apparently, this is like one of the few positions that Norvell, which they did have it. He did have a lot of the coaching staff had interviews today. Adam Fuller, Kenny Dillingham, Coach JP, and Norvell all had interviews today. But this is one of the few positions that he really confirmed that Fitzgerald has won the job due to consistency, apparently. What does that mean for growth? It's a solid backup, I guess. Or maybe he's the place kicker. Of course, we know the Aussie punter who's going to be the starter. I don't think anybody cares about long snapper, but it's up there. Holder, it's up there. And yeah, Parker looks like Parker Grover is going to be like the place kicker. So there's your special teams. Nothing news breaking there in my humble opinion. Shout out to DF. DF's crazy self. But shout out to him, man. $5. And I expect the crazy comments to come in soon from DF. But again, never goes unnoticed and always appreciated. And you get dub.
Yeah, get more money, more money. Yeah, get more money, more money. Yeah.
All right, I know everybody loves to talk about that defense, so we'll save the best for last. Let's look at this offense. Now, I don't know how well you guys can see it. You should be able to see it. You should be able to see it. If not, make your screen bigger. I can see it fairly good on my screen, so I just clipped it straight out of the off the internet. So, but of course, the quarterback position sort of playing out how we thought, right? I knew they were going to list it as Jordan Travis or Mackenzie Milton. When asked about it, Norvell, I don't know. Maybe you can read between the lines, maybe not. Norvell asked about the two quarterbacks today. He said, and don't quote me verbatim, but he essentially said he's excited for Mackenzie Milton, and he thinks Jordan Travis is going to have a bright future. That's basically me summing up what was said in that interview about the two quarterbacks. Take from that what you will. I personally have I still think Milton takes the first snap. I'm not going to lie. However, I am coming sort of to the realization, or I don't know if it's a realization or just like I'm accepting the fact that maybe Travis does get the start. Again, I watched last night Jordan Travis against Notre Dame. And we'll get into that game a little later, but Jordan Travis is such a double-edged sword to me. He makes some of his best plays on the run out the pocket, but he also makes some of his worst plays doing that. And it's a real give and take there. If he can continue to, if he can get better at that, I think I would lean towards Jordan Travis. He's never going to make all the throws that like all the throws you need him to make, but honestly, he doesn't really need to. With his abilities to improvise and his legs that do add a very special dynamic to the team. If he can just if he can cut back on the interceptions outside the pocket, like, and what I saw in the spring doesn't lead me to believe that he has, but hopefully he's changed since then, right? Spring was a long time ago, but in that spring game, he did something that if you go watch North Carolina, Notre Dame, you go watch some of these games, he rolls out the pocket, he throws the ball back across his body. Just fortunately enough, Steven Dix was in coverage, so he never locates the ball, and he completes a pass to Cam McDonald. But it was a very poor decision and a very poor throw, in my opinion. If he can clean that up and keep up the big plays, who knows? No surprise there with the running backs, in my opinion. I was a little surprised that instead of DJ Williams backing up Corbin, Trayshawn Ward is backing up Corbin. So I think we knew who the top two guys at running back and tailback, whatever that's worth. And I don't understand Ja'Kai Douglas. Obviously, he's a guy that they really, I think they really covet his skill set, but he's a guy who they said he was playing receiver, and they have him listed at tailback. So that position to me says is going to be a very kind of a Swiss Army knife type of position again, which I don't understand why DJ would be in that category. He's more of a traditional downhill type running back, but okay, we'll see. Keyshawn, which is, I'm assuming, the slot receiver here. I don't think that's receiver 1. Ontario Wilson, I think, would be receiver 2, and then Parchment, obviously the 1. No surprises in my opinion in the receiver room. I know Saturday I thought McClain might have worked his way into a starting rotation, but I kind of figured they would go with the 3 veterans there. So no surprise there. Of course, Cam McDonald. Offensive line. Now, what do you guys think about this offensive line? Robert Scott, Lloyd Willis makes the 2 deep depth chart. Lloyd Willis, a guy that I said was my dark horse. So I love it. Dylan Gibbons is being backed up by Lucas. Speaking of Dante Lucas, again, went back and watched that Notre Dame game. Man, he had a terrible game in that Notre Dame game. Dante Lucas was flat out bad in that game. And the experience that Dylan Gibbons, look at this. He's listed at 6'5", 320. Didn't realize Gibbons was that big. Gibbons should add a lot to that offensive line. I mean, just he's blocked that defensive line, for essentially his whole career. So Gillen should add a good dynamic. Maurice Smith does get the nod, which I'm okay with. Love Taylor. Washington is the one that I'm still like, I mean, if this is the 5 best, cool. Hopefully Washington has picked his game up. And that is your offense. I don't know what you guys think, but let me know in the comments what you guys think about this offense. Sammy says Travis looks good at times, but as soon as guys catch on to his game, he gets shut down. If we block it, believe he can take it to the house. I swear one game Douglas is a receiver, next he's a running back. Right. Till Dog with some score predictions. Bama 40, UM 17, Florida 33, FAU 10, Georgia 28, Clem Sucks 23, and FSU 28-24. I wish Pokey wasn't starting, rather not deal with him at all. I would rather we'll give him a chance. I've been on the record. I think Ontario Wilson can do his biggest damage if he's facing a team's 3rd type corner. Most teams, even really your kind of elite teams, aren't really packing 3, 4, 5 deep at DB in terms of, like, you have the numbers, but how many of those guys are really, really players? I think Ontario Wilson would do his best damage against the team's third receiver. We'll see. I would say the wide receiver position is the one position that I wouldn't worry too much about as far as the depth chart goes. Guys are gonna play. I think you'll see plenty of Malik McClain in this game, in my opinion. Guys are gonna play. I definitely didn't expect Lucas and Babion would be second string. I figured one of them would start. Hey, that's good for depth though. That both of them are, and we didn't even talk. Brady, it's cut off here at the bottom. Hold on, let me see. Let me move the banner. Brady Scott, another veteran, redshirt junior. I mean, look at the veteran group you got there. I mean, Darius Washington is listed as a redshirt freshman, but the kid's been a 3-year. He's been on campus for 3 years. Same thing with Maurice Smith. Well, no, I think Maurice Smith. Yeah, I think the same thing for Maurice Smith. I think they came in the same class actually. So we got a mix of some veterans, some young guys. I mean, I like the depth. I'm fine with all of them. I don't know about Washington. I'm not surprised Gibbons took Pope's spot. Lucas has shown he's still absolutely. The biggest surprise is Washington for me. I heard good things about them early, but I thought it was all coach speak. Well, we're going to find out. Sunday. We're going to find out. And I'm with you. Washington, I agree. I thought it was all coach speak. So we'll see. I'm not feeling Washington right now, but hey, let's see if he proves me wrong. 35, only 13. Tell him, get the likes up. Stop hating on Pokey. He's our leading returning receiver. That's not really saying much coming from a receiving group that didn't catch balls, including Ontario Wilson was one of the main culprits of dropping passes. So, yeah, him being the leading returning receiver isn't saying much. What was that, like 200 yards for a season? Yeah, not saying much. Not hate, it's facts. It feels like Scott has been here for 7 years. Yeah, Brady Scott. Dustin Hill reportedly supposed to be in play for January. Yeah, we'll see. That's one of those, I believe it when I see it. I've seen this too many times in college ball. Guys supposed to come later on. Guys supposed to go JUCO route, then come back to the team. Never works out. We'll see. I hope he does. I really do. Imagine if he was on, like, if Dustin Hill was on this depth chart, he would be, in my opinion, returning kicks and punts. And hell, he probably would take Ontario Wilson's spot, in my humble opinion. So we'll see. Toafili starting is surprise, but also awesome. It's with the tailback and the running back thing, we'll see what that even means. We got the same situation on defense, where they have 12 spots, and I've played football and I've watched football for a long time. I'm pretty sure only 11 people play on each side of the ball. But FSU, for some reason, we list 12 on each side of the ball. I don't know. He's listed as a starting tailback, but what the heck does that even mean? I think Corbin's your starter, and they'll figure ways to use him. And Dupree says, I'm hating. Am I hating? You guys can answer in the comments. Am I hating on Pookie because he's the one that's dropping passes? Oh, drop passes in the spring too, by the way. Practice clips? Oh, yeah, he was dropping passes there too. But I'm hating. I got it. It's okay. I like to see McClain take a shot at returning kicks and Travis J returning punts. Malik McClain returning kicks. I don't know if you want your 6'4" receiver out there returning kicks. Interesting. I figured Ward and DJ would have swapped. That's what I said. Tyler. I was surprised that Ward got the second spot behind Corbin. I figured that would have been DJ's spot. I agree with you. And McClain is too talented. I think you're going to see a lot of playing. I think so too. I think not only is he too talented, he just causes so much. He causes mismatches. Biggest receiver we got, again, like you said, talented. He's also big and fast. Yeah, definitely think you see him. Pookie was our leading receiver, but he does drop too many passes. Maybe some of these news guys starting an O-line did some good things during fall. Atkins picked them to start has to mean something. Douglas and Wren should do kicks. Keep Jay healthy. Let's go to this defense. Projected defense. Here we go. Again, there's your defense. Obviously, Jermaine Johnson with Cushney backing him up. Kind of interesting. Briggs with the starting nod. Now, I didn't think they would do this. I originally said this. I said you should pair Briggs up next to either Coop or Lovett. I love the fact that it's Fabian Lovett and Robert Cooper, and they're basically going to be swapping. I'm pretty much sure one will start one week, one will start another week. Because of the lack of depth at defensive tackle, yeah, that's what you need. I thought they would just go with Cooper and Lovett side by side, but I'm glad they're not. And Jarrett Jackson makes the rotation, the two deep, Jarrett Jackson or Joshua Farmer. So, I mean, look, if we can get anything out of Jarrett Jackson, 6'6", 308, shout out to that. Then Malcolm Ray or Robert Cooper, or I don't know, is that Fabian Lovett or Robert? I think it's Fabian Lovett or Robert Cooper, and then Malcolm Ray backing those two guys up. Don't know how much we'll really see of Ray. No True Thompson, a guy that kind of been here for a few years. Might be a little bit of a surprise, right? No True Thompson in the mix. So that's interesting. Keir Thomas, Quayshawn Fuller, and Derek McClendon at that Fox position. I don't think there's really any surprises there. I pretty much thought Quayshawn would back up Keir. Actually, I thought Cushney would back up Keir. McClendon would probably back up Jermaine or some combination of that. But again, not mad at anything I'm seeing there. Hopefully Quayshawn can really put it together and be the force we kind of need him to be. I expect good things out of Keir Thomas. Here's where I'm not going to say issues, but I have concerns. There's an obvious concern that I'll wait. But the first concern, quite frankly, is I love Kalen DeLoach getting the start. I think I said that on Saturday when I did my recent depth chart. I had DeLoach and Gaynor. So I like that. No Emmett Rice, obviously. The problem I have is where Amari Gaynor is listed. What is the stud position? Now, I thought we were going 4-2-5. 4-man front, 2 backers, 5 defensive backs. We have a nickel that's also listed here. So the stud and the nickel ain't the same thing. We don't have 12 positions listed right here. Is the Fox and the stud sort of interchangeable? If it is, then I don't think Jadarius Green McKnight fits that mold. Gaynor, sure. I don't have a problem with putting Gaynor at the edge on the edge and have him rush. But I don't think Jadarius Green McKnight at 5'11" fits that mold. I don't know what this stud is. And the 2 linebackers are DeLoach, which I love. How the hell Cortez Andrews is backing up DeLoach blows my mind. No Jaleel McRae. Still don't understand that, but okay. And Lundy. Sorry, I'm not changing my stance on DJ Lundy. By all means, if he goes out there and proves me wrong and shuts me the hell up, I will sit here as humble as all can be and say I was dead wrong on DJ Lundy. The kid at 6'1", 255 pounds and 2021 can play linebacker. I don't see it. If he proves me wrong, I'm all for it. I don't wish for any failure, so I'm all for it. I don't see it. No Jaleel McRae. I don't understand that. Either has Jaleel McRae just become absolutely garbage all of a sudden? Or is Cortez Andrews a walk-on from Maryland, former 3-star linebackers, or is he just that much better than Jaleel McRae? The linebacker position really, man, still kind of baffles me. I still don't think they know what they're doing with Amari Gaynor. Why isn't Gaynor in Lundy's spot? or Gainer and Deloach like that stud. I don't understand it. Maybe somebody in the comments can help me understand exactly what the stud position is. And I don't like it and I don't understand it. To me, it still sounds like we're going to see plenty of snaps where Amari Gainer's just not on the field. To me, that's what it sounds like to me. Because I don't expect much out of Jadarius Green McKnight this year. And they got him listed on the 2 deep. That's which to me says he's going to see some playing time. If you're telling me you're running Deloach and Gainer out there primarily for most of the time, I love it. Those are 2 fast linebackers who can move sideline to sideline, which is what we need. Can they play the run? We'll see. DJ Lundy, sure, he can play in a box, but outside of that, he can't do much else. But they got him as a starter. Maybe I've gone too long on these linebackers. It is what it is. Jamie Robinson at the Nick with Kevin Knowles backing that up. No surprise there. They got Travis J or Jerrion Jones. Expect Travis J. Obviously, Jerrion Jones hasn't been healthy most of the camp. And because of that, I don't think you're going to see much of him. Brandon Gant gets the nod here at this buck/strong safety spot. Now, I've thought about this, and I'm saying to myself, I like Brandon Gant. I really do. But if they use, again, I watched some games last night. If they use the safeties how they used them last year, no, sir. I don't know. That's one of the big criticisms I've had of Adam Fuller in the way and what he does defensively. He matches his safeties up on one-on-one coverage. Like, that's what he likes to do. That's what he did in the spring. That's what he likes to do. What I saw last year. I like Gant in the box. I like Gant's triggering downhill, run support, that type of deal as a hitter. Gant, very similar to a guy like Trey Marshall. You can use him like that. But when you start talking about putting Gant on an island and have him down the field in coverage, that's when it gets dicey for me. We'll see. I like Gant. I just don't know if I just didn't think he'd be a starter. Then Akeem Dent, I think we all expected Akeem to be the starter there. And then the other safety spot, Jarvis Brownlee, again, no surprise. I don't think there's any surprise there. So that kind of sums up your defense. Let's go to the comments. I haven't been paying attention to the comments. So let's go to the comments and see what y'all think in the comments. Let me scroll up. We'll start here. Montre says, tailback is a running back, catch a screen, passes backfield, halfback is traditional running back. Lucas and Babion both on the pine, start bowl moves. I like it. Sends a message. Ren might break out. We'll see. When Jerrion Jones gets healthy, do they move Jay back to safety? I don't believe so. What they might do is just have him play opposite of Travis J, but I don't. And then I don't think so. Well, I mean, you'll see game 1 how Jay plays over there, but if they start doing all this rotating positions again, that is counterproductive of what Adam Fuller has preached this offseason, which he has preached continuity, and while he's preached versatility, he's also been the one to say, okay, we know they're versatile. Now it's time to put them in positions and get them comfortable in those positions, and so they can learn and master their craft. Well, Jay doesn't get to do that if you start bumping him around and bumping other guys around on the depth chart. Cooper is rotating to stay fresh with Briggs. I'm excited to see Briggs, hoping he has improved. Lloyd Willis on the 2 deep. Yeah, man. Damn, he's 6'4". Never mind. True kind of blows. Here it comes. What should we look for on both sides of the ball on Sunday? We'll talk a little bit about that, Priscilla. The depth at the defensive tackle outside of the 3 starters is scary for a bad reason. Any injuries to that unit, that defense can be in free fall. Odell, get on your job. Notre Dame gonna exploit our linebackers all game. He can't tackle in space. Cushney, I think he's a good talent to relieve Jermaine Johnson, change up, and I think you'll see a lot of them. I agree with Jeff. Norvell needs to name Milton the starter and stop playing games. There's no need to rush. I don't know why you would rush. No need to rush. No need to rush. Not naming a starter gives us a competitive advantage. We won't know until kickoff. I just don't want to see that the interior line getting blown off the ball 5 yards back in the run game. I want to see Andrews get some reps. I've heard he's been a dog in camp. Yeah, we'll see about that. I swear they have no idea what they're doing with Gainer. This linebacking position is just a question mark all around. Gainer's terrible in space. All off season, the staff tried fitting a square into a peg in a round hole all off season and just said, "F it, just let him rush the passer." Can we see a gain before we judge first? No Squad says amen. Lundy coaches love him for some reason. Coaches love hardworking kids. I'm not even doubting that Lundy's a hard worker. Not doubting that. And Notre Dame runs the ball. A lot makes sense to start Lundy for this game. Okay. Agreed. I don't know how I feel about Gant. I totally thought Jaquez would start. The stud is a linebacker / safety hybrid. It don't make sense to me. That's just me. Shaheem Brown is a young baller who might end up taking over. No Jones, please. Buddy blows way too many pass interferences. Jones just got the cast off his wrist. What's up, new king? Hold on. Chat jumped. I love our O-line from Brandon Brazier. Shout out to Brandon. You like Jarian Jones, who sucked last year, but you don't like Lundy, who also sucked last year. So what? Makes sense to start Lundy over Dix. Honestly, man, both of them have very similar flaws. I think Dix is more athletic, but both of them really have any similar flaws. I'll say this. I'm watching the game last year and I'm watching the North Carolina game, some of these other games. And when you look at Lundy and Dix, who's calling me? Leave a voicemail. When you look at Lundy and Dix, again, both have very similar flaws. I will say that when I watched DJ, he did look more confident, or he was quicker to diagnose like the runs. He just wasn't always quick to get there, which might be some physical limitations, but he was quick to sort of diagnose what he was seeing, especially when it came to the run game. There were plays that Steven Dix was just flat out lost in the run game altogether. One thing that doesn't get talked about enough is how bad our safety play was last year. And I'm talking about in run support as well. And I'm talking about that guy that wore number 6 mostly, who's playing at Boston College right now. If you go back and watch this team last year, there was one guy who constantly took terrible angles. Like, sometimes I was watching last night and I'm watching Woodbay and I'm saying to myself, what are you looking at? He would run himself completely out of plays. Woodbay did. And the linebackers, so we had basically the center of our defense was exploited over and over. The linebackers aren't good in coverage, and they didn't get any really help from the safeties. So Lundy and Dix kind of have sort of the same weaknesses, again, which is real weird to me that Jaleel McCray can't find a role in this linebacking room. That is very questionable, but it is what it is. We'll see. Lundy can prove me wrong. I'm all for it. Believe me. Jeff says, if we can slow down the run and get a few 3 and outs, I think our front would definitely do the job, get pressure on the quarterback. Uh, no squad, yes, I know, but we should have a little more depth. This year, our starters don't go down. Um, when it all boils down, let us all hope coaches made the right decisions with who they have. And maybe if those starters fail, their backups come in and shine. Doesn't Fuller coach the safety? Somebody tell me, what is Fuller's expertise? I don't freaking know. I know what's in DB coach, but I thought he was more of a recruiter. God, I hope we smack Woodbay this year. The team better have a hit on a whiteboard. Has Chambry redshirted or something? I've heard nothing about him. What I think is going to happen with a guy like Chambry, he wasn't an early enrollee, and he's making a position change. And we're so deep. Like Patrick Payton didn't make the 2 deep either, but I think we'll see him this year. But a guy like Chambry Jackson, because he's making that position change and because they're so deep at defensive end, I think they can sit him and pack weight on him. They want to move him to defensive tackle, right? That's the plan. Again, y'all know I'm not a fan of recruiting these DNs, these jumbo DNs, regardless of stars, and then trying to pack 50, 40 pounds on them and say, oh, now you're going to be just as productive as you were at defensive tackle. Not a fan of it, but that's the plan with them. So you sit them out a year, put on the weight correctly, and go through all the process. We should see Chambry next year, potentially. What happened to the Brooks kid? I was watching BC game from 2019, and I was like, oh, yeah, he used to play. You talking about a.k.a. Brooks? He's still on the team. I don't need to see him in the game either, to be honest with you. Play some special teams, but I do not need to see a.k.a. Brooks. I do not need to see a.k.a. Brooks. I'd rather have D tackles. Yeah, me too. That concept blows my mind, doesn't it? Recruiting actual D tackles to play D tackle, which just blows my mind. I've never heard of it, especially in the last few years. I can't fathom it. So yep, there's your depth chart. There's your depth charts, man. Overall, I'm cool with the depth chart. I like the depth chart. I like the depth we got. I think we're a deeper team. But let's just talk about what I saw last night on this Notre Dame when I rewatched this game and where I think we really have to improve. And I just want to start off by saying we were in that game. We were in that game for all of it, really. I mean, a late interception kind of blew any chance we had at a comeback. But we were in that game. And you know where Notre Dame really killed us? Notre Dame killed us in the middle of the field. Now, for some reason, and I'm watching this, first of all, their offensive line was immaculate that game. When I say immaculate, like our defensive line was blown off the ball I don't know if we got any pressure the entire game. And when we did try to get some pressure, Ian Book was capable enough with his legs that he was able to make plays outside the pocket as well. But they didn't have to do too much deep stuff on us because we can't cover or last year we couldn't cover in the middle of the field at all. And that's where I think they're going to try to attack us again. They're obviously going to try to establish the run game. So now this is going to come down to linebackers hitting their keys, safety run support. And at the same time, you got to keep an eye on that tight end. They're going to be trying to hit that tight end in the middle of the field like they did last year. Defensively, yeah, we didn't do nothing right. I would say the only player that I recall popping off my screen defensively was honestly Amari Gaynor, and that he played so sparingly that game. Again, I watched the condensed version, but Amari Gaynor caused the fumble at the beginning of the game, but he was not on the field a lot. And Emmett Rice was at least always around the ball, swarming to the football. But the other linebacker, oh my, Woodbay, the angles we took in that game were absolutely terrible. So all that stuff that I say that to say that all that stuff on defense has to be cleaned up. Now, why do I believe we have a chance, or that there's a chance? For one, again, I haven't watched this Cohen kid, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't move like Ian Book could move. That's number one. I don't think he's a threat with his legs. Number two, I don't think that offensive line is better than last year's by any stretch of the imagination. By any stretch, right? Now they might have the same tight end, and they may have some. I don't know much about their receivers. If anybody knows, y'all let me know. I know their tight end is kind of hyped up. If we can clean up defensively, I think the recipe with what the new stuff they're bringing in offensively really helps. It really helps. Offensively, Bavion was absolutely garbage. Not Bavion. Bavion struggled too, but Dante Lucas. Dante Lucas in that game was absolutely horrendous in the Notre Dame game. The offensive line as a whole did not play well that game. And yet Jordan Travis was really still able to kind of make things happen. The receivers played fairly well that game, especially Tamarion Terry had a big game. Even Warren Thompson was making catches. The receivers played. Jordan Travis came and played. What I think you want to do, in my humble opinion, is establish the run first and see if you can open up the rest of the offense. Going to the comments. We can't run a 4-3 because we don't have 3 good linebackers. Hell, do we have 2 good linebackers? If we stop the run and J-Trav didn't suck at the end, Jordan Travis did give away that interception at the end. Gainer for me, for more of a Christian Jones type, and DJ Lundy. They killed us on the counter. What do you think about the corners? I like the corners. I kind of like, to me, I kind of think if Jerry Jones was healthy, I would line him next to or opposite of Jay. And if it was my secondary, I would probably have Jerry Jones, again, healthy Jerry Jones, Travis J, Brownlee at my nickel. I feel like when I look at Brownlee, to me, I think he's more of a nickel. And then I would move Jamie back to safety with Akeem Dent and pair those two guys up. That's just me though. But I like what we have. I'm interested to see. DW POLK this year, Notre Dame online shouldn't be as good, and Cone isn't mobile whatsoever. Right. Because 4-3 defense is irrelevant in today's football. Running a 4-3 against the offensive schemes would not work. Decent point by Damien. The 4-3, the reason teams are going to more 3-4s and the game is spread out. So either your linebackers have to be pseudo DB linebacker hybrids, or you have to play more nickel and dime packages. Most teams aren't running three linebackers on field at any one given time. Seems like in some packages we will be in a 4-3 instead of a 4-2-5. Gainer will mostly only play in those 4-3s. Robinson was getting out blocked by a Notre Dame offensive line with one damn eye. Lars Woodbay was absolutely terrible that game, but Lars Woodbay was terrible in a lot of games. Lars Woodbay was terrible in the North Carolina game. Absolutely terrible. We might have to put Jamie Robinson at linebacker. Ugh, I hope not. Coach can't move. Cone can't move, sorry. Watched him at Wisconsin. He's a game manager. Feed the ball to Taylor. Has a good arm, but missed a ton of deep balls. That's why I'm worried. That's why I'm worried for Gant. He missed a ton of deep balls, so that means you're worried for Gant. Okay. I hope not. I hope not. Notre Dame only returning 2 starters on offense. I really like our chances. That front four is better than last year. I tend to agree. T2 says hit the like button. If we can get like 4.5 or more and keep the run game going, we got to establish the run early, in my humble opinion. Because not only obviously, I mean, that's basic football 101, right? Establish the run, the rest of the offense opens up. Also gives the offensive line some confidence. So I think we got to try to, regardless of who the quarterback is, man, establish the run. Notre Dame has a transfer and a true freshman on O-line. I expect Johnson and our D-line to win a lot of matchups. I like Jermaine. Get a couple sacks. The linebacker just shows me that tight ends are going to kill us. I hope not. I would hope my defensive coordinator that pays whatever the hell he gets paid is looking and saying, they're going to try to target our linebackers. Let me scheme around that. I have faith in my guys on the outside, so I'm not too worried about my corners. Let me scheme up something. Because I don't know, I'm a defensive coordinator at Florida State University, and I should have a game plan ready, just like I did for Tutu Atwell. And our front, D tackle, DN will help the linebackers in pass coverage by creating pressure on the QB. No worries, Polk. I believe we get the pressure. Okay, that's a fair counter. I would say that I would be more on that bandwagon if I wasn't. So a lot of the stuff over the middle are these crossing routes and these pick rub routes that it doesn't take a lot of time to set up. These are quick passes that even if you're getting pressure, quarterback just has to get the ball out. And they killed us on that last year. A lot of underneath stuff. For whatever reason, our DBs and our safeties were playing 10 yards off of these guys. As almost if they were playing prevent defense. Go back and watch it if you think I'm lying. I don't understand it. But that's what they were doing. And they were just killing us on underneath stuff. Just crossing routes, rub routes, just underneath. So the pressure is a big deal. And I agree with you. But if you're just talking about quick 5-yard passes that can go for 10 or 15 because our corners are playing so far off, then the pressure is kind of void and null in that instance. So again, defensive coordinator, do your job. I watch Woodbay be an All-American. There's nothing in the and let me say this about Woodbay. Great kid. Y'all know, like, I'm not here to bash kids. I just evaluate their on-field performance. Nothing in Woodbay's tape says that he has All-American on him. When I say he was bad, I don't know what he graded out. Didn't check what he graded out last year, and I don't care because my eyes told me this kid doesn't understand angles as a safety. Doesn't understand angles. Doesn't understand pursuit. In a lot of cases, was just flat out slow. I would not be shocked if Woodbay ran a 4.9. Like, just was flat out slow. Even that sometimes when he did have an angle, he just got blown past. I wish the best for Woodbay, but I do not see All-American in his future. No team in NFL or college runs a predominant 4-3 scheme. The common formations used today. Just need hybrid players at safety or linebacker. Run the 2 tight end sets and get the tight end. I do think we will see some 2 tight end type deals. I do think that, Todd. Brownlee needs to stay away from the nickel. Well, yeah. Well, that Tutu did kill him last year. Good point there. But again, defensive coordinator didn't quite help your nickel in that situation. You couldn't tell Woodbay that he wasn't trashed, but I agree he is a better fit at BC. Thing is, Notre Dame runs the ball a lot, and keep in mind our defense went from the hundreds to the 40s when we switched to the 4-3 zone. I'm willing to die on this hill if need be. I just feel that eventually he will hit that deep ball. I don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying. But even if they do take deep shots, Sammy, our safeties shouldn't be in one. Our safeties shouldn't be left on an island. They should be safeties. They should be covering over the top. Cover two, man cover two. My corners playing man, my safeties over the top as help. That's where they should be. I shouldn't see Brandon Gant one-on-one with the receiver down the field. If I do, y'all gonna know why I continue to question Adam Fuller and what he's calling defensively. My safety, unless you have, I say this before and I stick by it. Unless you have a special breed of safety back there, unless you got Derwin James, somebody like that, Tyron, the Honey Badger, Matthew, unless you got somebody like that, man, your safety shouldn't be back there like that. One-on-one. I don't like it. Corbin ran good against Notre Dame. I think Corbin gets 100. I'd be interesting because I think the defensive line is sort of their strong suit of that defense. So I'm interested to see how our offensive line performs. Jermaine Johnson is going up against a freshman, left tackle. I feel good he can get past that freshman. Let's go Noles. I was pissed that we played so far back, bro. I was screaming at the TV all season long. 28-24 for a game prediction from Dupree. Not so recent offenses were different even then. In 2013, Pruitt modernized what we're doing. Yeah. In 2013, Pruitt pretty much brought the nickel to Florida State. Absolutely. Absolutely. And LaMarcus Joyner was our star. That's when we called it star, but he was our safety / nickel / kind of all-purpose player. So good point from Damien. If these are the linebackers that we're going with, then Fuller and Marv better have a hell of a scheme. We cannot give up 400 yards a game. I agree. We'll see. Y'all know how I feel about this dude. But we'll see. Keep in mind our defense in 2012 was better. Well, of course it was. I hope Fuller will apply pressure early and dial up different blitzes. New traditional QB and new O-line. I'll be interested to see how he dials up the blitz. I wouldn't dial up the blitz. Again, I don't know much about this quarterback, and if I'm being honest, didn't watch him. Don't really care to go back and watch him. Because it's a new offensive line, I would hold off on the blitzes. Let me just see. If I can get pressure with Ford, then I don't need the blitz. Because once you start blitzing, you're putting strain on. Again, we call linebacker a weak position and even safety to some degree, right? Once you start blitzing, you're putting strain on those positions to be able to hold. If that blitz doesn't get there, then what happens? Those guys are exposed, and that's a big play. I would hold off. I would see, can I get pressure with my guys with 4 down? If I can get pressure with 4, yeah, I hold off on the blitz. Now, if it comes to the point where you have no choice but to blitz, then again, you better dial up some stuff that gets there, or you're exposing your guys. I'm not worried about my guys on the outside, but my guys in the middle of the field, you're exposing them, and they'll exploit that. And I expect that if Notre Dame is going to have success, that's where they're going to have the success. They need to take a page out of Todd Bowles' scheme and use the top, and he used to stop the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We don't got line. They had Devin White. We don't have linebackers like Todd Bowles got. They had Levante David and Devin White over there in Tampa Bay. We don't got guys like that. Pitt's QB was standing on one good leg and killing us last season. He couldn't do anything but hold my head in shame. Only because of sacks. We sat back in that zone and it cost us. That 12 defense was not better than 13. Let's hope Dent can catch the ball this year. Gant ain't a safety because he was horrible in coverage. Hopefully our D line. Hold on. Chat jumped. Hopefully our D-line was good. Hopefully our D-line was good practice for our offensive line. Fair enough. Fair enough. Keep in mind, we didn't give up 34 points to we didn't give up 34 points to BC in 2012. Do you still predict 0 sacks? Man, I said it and I'm gonna stick by it. I don't care. No, I don't even really believe my own words, but we'll see. Our defensive ends allowed us to run zone. Hadn't seen Jaleel since the Miami game. Apparently, we won't see Jaleel, so I guess I would give up on that. If it wasn't for EJ, we win. I didn't mean to get off topic, but did you hear that Bishop? I think he's a 4-star defensive tackle that is skipping his senior season of high school. Enemies coming to Florida State next year. You mean the guy that got committed right now? No, I didn't hear that. I wouldn't skip my senior season if you're gonna skip the senior season, then see if you can reclass to this year. If I was Bishop, I wouldn't just sit out of football for a whole year. I mean, it's his, obviously, it's his career, and he can do obviously what he wants to do. And I would not sit out a full year of not playing football and then think you're gonna come in and contribute next year. Like I don't know. I wouldn't do that. I don't believe in that. Now, if you can reclass and get on campus now I'm not saying he plays if he reclasses, but getting in the campus and getting in that weight program and nutrition program is going to be nothing but beneficial. But to just sit out of your high school year and not play ball, not a fan of that. Fuller is a defensive genius. I knew DF would come with the foolishness. And I know you're trolling DF, but I would just love to hear you explain the genius that is Adam Fuller. If by all means, if you want to, you don't have to, but if by all means, if you want to explain what makes Fuller a defensive genius, I'm here to listen, brother. I'm here to listen. Bishop Thomas is going to be a house when he hits campus, a full year to get his body right. Honestly, Rose, I don't know. I don't know the kid. I don't know the kid's work ethic. Do I have faith in a 16, 17-year-old that he's going to really put in the work? I kind of don't. And that's not a knock on him. It's just 16, 17-year-olds. Like we saw last year with the pandemic in the offseason, some of our college defensive linemen didn't put in the work to be great. Corey Durden. Marvin Wilson. Marvin Wilson ain't got a job either, by the way. If you didn't hear what happened to him, the Browns let him go. So, if Marvin Wilson, who was coming into his money year to try to make millions of dollars in the NFL, didn't put in the work in the offseason, do I have faith that a high school kid's going to do it? I would much rather him be playing football than just sitting out a year. Don't like that idea. Our running backs fast enough to beat Notre Dame defenders to the edge and turn the corner for big yards outside of tackles? ? I think Toafili is. Trayshawn Ward might even be too. I'm interested to see Corbin running. Watching Corbin last year, he was extremely sluggish. It seemed to me like he lacked explosiveness, right? So I'm going to be interested. I'll call you back later. I'm going to be interested to see with the year from that injury, if he's got some of that explosiveness back we saw when he was at Texas A&M. That is good news. I think they said 90% of the team has the first shot, which is great news, actually, that 90% of the team has gotten the first shot. So obviously the second shot shouldn't be an issue. So I think we'll be fine there. I think I agree with Polk. Reclass, get in the weight room and practice. He shouldn't sit out a whole year. I don't think it's a good idea personally. Rose, I think he's gonna get ugly for Notre Dame. Hey, no, Rose, talk that shit. Talk it, baby. DF is still on 10, I'll bet. Polk, if we get if we get sacks now, it's going to be a long game. If we get sacks now, or Davis, you're killing me with this one. POLK. If we get now sacks, it's gonna be a long game for us. Are you saying if we give up sacks? Is that what you were trying to say? Or you, because if you're saying that if we get sacks, I don't know why it would be a long game for us. Somebody tell me what the hell our Davies is trying to say there. I'm trying, man. I am trying. Fuller is a genius because he helped us win every game. Football is golf rules, right? We went, yeah, right. POLK, if we get no sacks, there we go. If we get no sacks, well, yeah, if we can't get pressure, obviously it's going to be a long night. We saw that last year. We a lot of games, the best our defensive line play was that North Carolina game, and it's no coincidence that we won that game. That was the best our defensive line looked the entire season was North Carolina. I don't agree with Thomas skipping his senior season. The only thing they're talking about 2012. Do you think the NLI stuff, more kids will stay for degrees? Because they're making money? Maybe. I mean, I kind of get your kind of logic there, right? They're making money in college now. No rush to go to the NFL. You're already making some sponsorship money. Now you can set yourself up with a bright future with a degree from a big time university. You're not you don't have to rush to get that NFL money. It's possible. It's possible. I obviously I still think like the top guys, because whatever you're making from the NLI, if you're a top 10 pick, you're going. You're going. Marv went from first round to no job in 1 year. Jeff with another donation, man. $10 super chat from Jeff. Shout out to Jeff. And I think I gave this dude.
Yeah, more money. Yeah, more money. Yeah.
That story is absolutely insane. If you read the articles on that, if you listen to the interview, they interviewed a kid that played on that team. That story is absolutely bonkers. That can even happen in 2012. That could happen to ESPN, the supposed worldwide leader in sports, is crazy. And everybody involved in that should be reprimanded in some way, shape, or form. Period. Norvell has gone against Notre Dame's defensive coordinator. Yes, he did. I think he put up big numbers on him as well. Marv better hold that 192K tight. I remember versus Jacksonville State, our punter got the same number of tackles as Marv. What y'all gonna do? Okay, y'all talking. Y'all know I don't get into that. Did you see Quinn Edwards got 1.4? He was a genius to reclassify. I heard that he got some big money. What up, Zoe? 2 games and 3 days, man. That Bishop stuff is crazy. ESPN got trolled, punked, and Del curried. Oh, ESPN didn't care to do their research. The announcer even says during that game, Bishop told us they had players with several D1 offers. We could not verify. Not a bad amount to put in on the index fund to forget about. He can retire by 40. Talking about Edwards at the age of 17, 18, before he's played a college snap. Someone has invested all that money into him. Absolutely crazy in my opinion, but shout out to that young man. Those guys, man, if we just want to talk about that story for a little bit, which I'm fine with. You literally had you had grown men playing against high school kids. these guys were JUCO dropouts, guys that couldn't make it in JUCO. So you got guys on this Bishop. First of all, they fielded a team of 30 people, which means guys were playing both ways. You had JUCO dropouts or guys who couldn't make it into JUCOs, which means these kids are at least 20, 21 years old. IMG was playing the local semi-pro team. They were playing a bunch of mechanics and janitors and guys that worked at Pet Boys. They just grabbed dudes off the street and said, "Hey, come play football." Absolutely insane story that went on there. Nothing about that place is real. If you MapQuest the address to the university, you'll get a picture of like a house, like a house. It's like a random house. Nothing about it. The head coach has warrants out for his arrest. Absolutely insane story, man. It's like the more you dig into it, the crazier it gets. Insane story there. Kevin Knowles getting a pick six Sunday. Ooh, nice prediction from Dupree. The head coach has an arrest warrant. Yep. That team didn't even have a defensive front. IMG backs was running all over them. They had just played 2 days prior. That team shouldn't have been on the field. Period. They had JUCO kids, Houseway. Duffy looked good, though. Can't wait to see Jordan Wilson make a play. IMG played the local McDonald's and Walmart staff. Pretty much, bro. Pretty much. I like Jordan Wilson, too. He's going to sneak out and make big plays. They said the unis they were sharing. There's videos of guys coming off the field and swapping helmets with other players who were going on the field. They didn't even have enough helmets for everybody on that field. How that game happened is it shows that it shows a very dark side of this high school college sports. IMG is basically a college that is masqueraded as a high school. IMG, to my opinion, IMG shouldn't even be allowed to play your average run-of-the-mill high school. The way that high school is ran. That high school gets kids from every part of the country to IMG. IMG is not... IMG in and of itself is a very shady program if you want to keep it a buck. We're just keeping it a buck. And it shows a very dark side that you think these people have the best intentions for your children, and they really don't. IMG, you can't convince me IMG played them the last year. IMG played this same team last year. So you can't convince me that IMG didn't know about this team and the things that surrounded it. They didn't care. They were on ESPN. They were going to cut a check. They didn't give a damn. And if you're a parent and your team's in that situation, playing against a 23-year-old former JUCO dropout. Now, granted, IMG's is talented. So these kids, these Bishop kids weren't even talented, got all that, but still. You're 13. I mean, IMG has 14, 15 years old on that varsity roster. Your 14-year-old was playing against a grown man. Lo and behold, something crazy would have broke out in these situations. These places don't care about your kids, guys. These places do not care about your kids. It's an online school. It's not a real school. I don't know what it is. A fictional academy. You got to respect it, honestly. Just a bunch of guys trying to. No, you don't respect it. Damien, speaking of water guns, how's the FSU practice going? The score was 38-0 the second half, and the Commoners made D1 offers comment. And the coach of that team, he refused to run the clock. He did not. He didn't want to run the clock, despite guys being injured, playing a day before or 2 days before, whatever the case. Again, how does this happen in 2021? You'll know. I don't know. I don't know. Shaheem Brown gets a block kick. I don't mind if you finesse some money from ESPN. I mean, look, I don't give a damn about ESPN either. I'm with you there, but at the expense of people's children is, again, did they do any background checks on these kids that they pulled off the street to play at this school? Like you said, these were guys trying to relive former glory, whatever that is. There was and I think in the interview with one of the former guys that played on that team, he said people were fighting, potentially getting stabbed, living on floors in these rented apartments or whatever. You don't think there was some bad apples on that field with a 13, 14-year-old player at IMG? Again, it didn't happen, right? So we can look back and be like, okay, that didn't happen, but had shit gone awry with a grown man, I don't know, man. When's Edwards going to play, though? He's not going to play this year. First play on defense for FSU, sacked by Jay Johnson. Bishop must be in the 305. I think they're actually based out of Ohio somewhere, I think. I did not know Pep was the high school. One thing I noticed about the game takeaway from the counter plays, they just ran the ball straight up, and we did pretty good at stopping it. I just don't understand why they couldn't read that play. And again, they killed us underneath. When they did throw the ball, they killed us underneath. IMG is totally shady. I played them in baseball, and a Japanese kid from his dorm showed up mid-game, and he shoved Buddy wasn't on the roster. I don't like the concept of IMG, but that's a story for. I don't like it either. IMG should not be allowed to play other schools except schools like IMG. IMT should not be playing Plantation or American Heritage. And American Heritage is one talented team. I think Earl Little plays on that team, Marvin Jones Jr. They're a very talented team. And it still isn't a fair matchup. And they shouldn't be allowed to play teams like that. They should play other sort of pseudo JUCOs like them. They shouldn't be playing your average or even your above average high school. What up, Kusami? And the fact that they're located in Canton, Ohio, which is where the Football Hall of Fame is. There you go, Sandra, giving Priscilla them happy birthday wishes. The Bishop coach stole money from a local church, and he paid fake checks to the hotel they were staying at. Bruh. That team licked ESPN for a cool meal and split the dough. Pretty much. Oh, where's the football week? That's right, Sandra. It's game week. IMG has 20 kids in the ESPN 300. IMG should have a schedule full of nationally ranked opponents. I really don't think it was that serious. Those men were. I don't care though. I don't know. I guess maybe in this particular situation, you can say, well, again, it wasn't that serious. These men got embarrassed by these kids. I just see a situation where things could have went bad, and then if things would have went bad, what would we be saying right now? But yeah, IMG should not play public schools, right? Man, I won tickets to a game. Oh, shout out to Green Bay. What game did you win the tickets to, and how'd you win them? Tell them, Damien, get the likes up. Let me check. I haven't even checked the likes. I didn't even check the likes because I got faith that the 863 tribe, they're going to hit the like button. You watching me, hit the like button. But 38 likes with 55 people in here, I don't know. Y'all ain't feeling it today? Y'all not feeling me? I guess not. I'm cool with IMG if they still had a Seminole coach. They do. Trey Thomas over there coaches their O-line. It's less serious because they suck. Fair enough. Polk, did you hear about the Big Marv being cut? Yep, talked about that just 10 minutes ago. if they just started killing everyone, they get caught up really quick. It, I I will say that. Like, how do you cheat? Like, how do you go pick these JUCO kids and you still suck? Like, how do you cheat and still suck? Is it even cheating what they're doing? What are they doing? But how do you do that and then you're still bad? I agree with you there. You go through all of that and you're still not any good. You know Sky Knoll on Twitter. I think I do, yeah. So it makes sense that they went under the radar so far. Yeah, because they're so bad. Good point. Yeah, they were just coming and blowing the doors off of everybody. Then yeah, definitely raise some eyebrows. But what do you guys want to cover? Again, y'all got to remember, I don't want to do too much, but I'm all open for any discussion because Friday, man, I'm going hard in the paint. Now I don't expect y'all to stick with me all 8 hours. And maybe you will, but I'm going 8. Just because that's something I want to do. I want to give it a try. I want to see how many people at the start of the football season I can kind of bring in here. So I'm gonna go 8. As a matter of fact, I think Virginia Tech and North Carolina plays Friday. They play Friday or Thursday. They play one of those days. So I gotta have a lot of content for Friday. Gotta have a lot of content for Friday. Guys will be coming on at different parts of that show, by the way. But again, let me know. What do you guys want to? What do we want to talk about? They're just some guys having fun trying to finesse some of these schools, and ESPN for a couple dollars. I respect it. Not the arrest warrant so much. Friday they got the kids who walked on at JUCO. Yeah, still lost. So it is Friday. Friday at 6. Oh no, I'll be getting off. No, I'll be on until 11 o'clock that night. So yeah, we'll even have some football to talk about on that live stream. I'm not giving a score prediction till Friday, so we can talk about anything else, but I'm not doing my score predictions. Not doing the score prediction. It could shock you guys, though. You got a schedule for the guests? So, actually, I kind of do. Good question, Tyler. All right. So let's go over the rundown. The only two people that haven't really hit me back on the time frame is Big Game James and Freddie. But so the hot seat and the Listen Up podcast, I'm starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Those guys will probably be the first guys I have on. They'll be popping on around that same exact time, maybe a little bit, maybe 3:30-ish, 3:15-ish. So those will be your first guys. Then after them, you'll get Norvell Central, followed by Tay No, maybe at the same time. I might actually split them up and do maybe Tay first and then Norvell Central or vice versa. I'll figure that out. But Listen Up, the hot seat, Norvell Central, Tay No, and then Logan, founder of Noel's Game Day, is doing so. Actually, I have to get with Tay. Yeah, so I'll probably do actually Logan actually would be on before Norvell Central. So somewhere on there, I'm still working out the time frame, but that's the gist of it. She put up a question on Twitter and I was the first to answer it right. So I won 2 championship clubs tickets to Syracuse. Okay. My man, I cannot believe y'all justifying grown men finessing the system to play some 16-year-olds. That's why I'm not justifying nothing. I don't like it at all. I could probably do 8 hours at one time. I did 24s with a friend of mine. That stream a video game. Okay. Polk, I'm telling you, do another Saturday night stream for the Jacksonville State game. It can be a watch party while we beat Jackson State at home. What time is Logan? Logan's going to be on, I think, 6. Yeah, no, Logan's going to be on 6, Norvell at 7. So Tay is either going to be on with Norvell at 7, or if Tay's up to it, we might, Tay's up to it, I might push him a little bit later just because I know he said he gets off at around 5 or so. Maybe he wants to take a little time, but I'll work that stuff out. Norvell Central's face reveal. If you watch him on IG, you've seen his face. But I don't know. I don't know if he's going to show his face or not. You should talk to War Chant and see if you are able to get onto War Chant TV. Have not. So War Chant is one place I didn't reach out to. I don't know if I want to be on the same. And I like Corey Clark. And I like Gene. But who's the other guy? The other old guy. Damn, I'm forgetting his name. What's his name? Ira. I like him. Aslan, I don't know. I don't know if I could be on the same stream as Aslan. I know you not. I'm talking about folks in the comments. Okay. Private schools shouldn't be playing with public schools anyway. All other states have separate private and public associations, but I'll leave that soapbox alone for another day. Tyler, ain't no way he shows his face. LML War Chant, like the Ace family of the. Yeah, I mean, War Chant, they've got the big following and all that, definitely. I like Jeff Cameron too, but Jeff Cameron is the guy, is another guy, but he wasn't who I was thinking about. I was thinking of Ira. And I like those guys. I honestly do. It's just, I don't really like Aslan. Kids playing kids is fine. Both schools have agreed, right? I'm fine with the men playing against kids if they suck. I don't care who comes on what time I'm watching. Hey, shout out to Island Boy. We in there. What up, Peter? Polk, are you talking about former fullbacks, James? Yes, that's who I'm talking about. Former fullback James Coleman and Freddie Stevenson have agreed to come on Friday. But they haven't hit me back with a time frame. So depending on their time frame, a lot of this stuff may switch or shift to the left or right or whatever. We'll see. But they have agreed to be here. Now, I do understand that if you don't know, those two actually started their. Well, Big Game James has been doing the Sports Den or whatever, like podcast for a while now. But I think him and Freddie are doing their own podcasts as well. So they do have their own content. They may be busy, which I understand. Like if they have to pull out, I wouldn't be mad. I've had Freddie on here before. I would like to have Big Game James on here, but if he can't due to some unforeseen circumstances, I understand. But as of right now, or as of 2 or 3 days ago, they agreed to come on this Friday. So we will see. Polk, invite some of the Twitter homies. Oh, 20 Twitter honey. Oh, man, don't. DF, get out of here. I don't got no Twitter honeys. You got to stop. You have to stop. You are a menace. DF, I don't know who made you this way, but you got to stop. It's finally game week. Speaking of the devil, look who shows up. Speaking of Norvell Central, they're asking for a face reveal on Friday. Are you going to appease the masses? No Game Day is getting popular too. If you haven't noticed, man, I'm not saying I'm whatever, you can call me the godfather of this if you want to, but I'm not saying it. But have you not noticed a lot of FSU media for like 247s and Newberg and now the Nolecast and all these guys are coming over to the YouTube thing? Or is that just me? Am I just noticing that on my own? Did we start a trend over here? Is 863 Tribe leading the way, or what are we doing? Because just a year ago, wasn't nobody on YouTube, but maybe 2 or 3 of us at the most. And a lot of times I don't count War Chant because of who they are. Yes, we know War Chant is the thing, right? A lot of times I don't count those guys. When I just talk about on YouTube, the average dude, who was it? 2 or 3 of us. Fast forward a year later, all of FSU, all the FSU platforms over here on YouTube all of a sudden. Or maybe it's just me. Or maybe it's just me. But everybody's showing up on YouTube. No Cast is on YouTube. Again, 247 now doing it. I don't know, man. A lot of FSU media that wasn't on YouTube a year ago. It's almost like YouTube is a new thing when it's been out for 15 years. People forget War Chant is growing. I have showcased my face. You guys have to I told them, I said, you go on IG Live all the time and show your face, but they want to see the GOAT's face. You pull in more viewers than the Knowles Game Day podcast. Do I? I really don't. I do listen to the guys, but I really don't, I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff. Honestly, I kind of just pay attention to what I got going on. I don't really compare myself to anybody. I do notice, again, when new guys show up on the platform, I'm like, okay, shout out to them guys. But mostly, man, I just try to focus on what I got going over here. POLK, send Jimbo Fisher an invite. I wish I could get Jimbo on here. You need to try and nail down Benji Brown. He's a comedian, but he's a tremendous knowledge of the Knowles. I mean, I could reach out, like a way to contact him. Yeah, there's a lot of different Seminole channels on here. They wouldn't hear before. Right. There's a lot of guys on here all of a sudden that wasn't here before. Again, I'm not saying I'm leading the charge, but one of the goals was to build the community, and it seems like we're building it. The question is, do guys want to play ball with me? I don't know. I'll be trying. I have nothing to lose, so I don't mind reaching out. But sometimes people ignore me because I'm just a guy on YouTube that talks, so I get it. Makes sense for Logan to come on. I like Logan. I do. And I'm glad he's willing to come on. Back when we had a coach who would chew the horrible ACC refs, no, they're definitely copycatting you. Facts, bro. Still haven't gotten my game day wristband. POLK, you're still the best Knoll YouTuber. I try. You should have done FOF instead of the CC. I'm not sure what you mean there, Knowles Squad. Knowles Game Day grew pretty fast. I think they definitely got more subscribers than me. But again, I don't really pay attention. They're doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. And if we can collab and meet in the middle, I'm all for all of that. Seeing some talk on Twitter that the Notre Dame QB is a gunslinger. We'll see. Is he? I keep hearing he's not all of that. But now there's he's a gunslinger all of a sudden. Okay. Whatever he is, we're going to find out Sunday night. At this point, POLK the godfather of FSU talk. I'm not saying I'm the godfather because honestly, if you want to talk about like the OGs of Florida, like the Florida State talk, the Noel Cast is one of them. Obviously, I'm not the first person that came on the internet and started talking about the Seminoles. But I do feel like, and I guess I'll toot my own horn a little bit. I don't really usually do this, but I do feel like I made this YouTube shit popular, dog. And that's just my opinion. Because one of the reasons I started this YouTube thing for like 2 reasons. One, because it's a hobby and I just enjoy talking it. And I was hoping to meet people that I could talk Florida State football with. Especially when I started it, obviously I was like just getting here to Hawaii. Didn't have a lot of people that I could talk football with. And there's some Florida State fans out here, but there's not a lot, right? So I said, let me get on a YouTube channel and see if we can build something. That's number one. And number two, there was one of the, the other main reason. There wasn't a lot of people on YouTube, again, a year or two ago that was talking Florida State football on here. You may have had like Turnt Tally and maybe somebody else. And even Turnt Tally has his own lane. You know, he was doing his own type of different thing where he would do live streams during the game, and then he would do like skits and stuff, right? So he had a own lane that I didn't want to imitate. I wanted to do more sports talk, not really, you know, that type of thing. So he had his lane. So I said, okay, he can do his thing and I can do my thing. And outside of that, who was else on YouTube doing anything like that? There was podcasts, but there's no one on YouTube. So I feel like I don't know what shifted the balance here. I don't know what made people all of a sudden so interested in YouTube, but I don't think it's a coincidence that my channel has kind of, I'm not going to say blown up because we're not huge over here, you know, but we're over, you know, 1.2K. We're over a decent amount of subscribers. I get a decent amount of views, and all of a sudden you got guys over here trying to pop in here and do the YouTube thing. I ain't mad. Man, who keeps calling me? Give me 2 seconds. All right. Anyway, where were we? Somebody said anybody but Jason. Cone has an arm. He just wasn't that accurate. That's why he became a game manager. No, Jason, Jesus Christ. You keep it real. I watch the others, but love this show. Is Turnt Tally still on YouTube? So he hasn't done a video in a while. I don't know if he's got a plan like this major comeback for the season, but I don't know. But he hasn't done a video since FSU lost to Michigan in the basketball team. He hasn't done anything since, from what I've seen. So I don't know if you guys are able to like contact him or anything. And maybe he comes back this season with a vengeance. Who knows? Logan cries about his broken leg too much. Tyler's he actually defends Taggart. Yeah, Jason does. He sure does. You see the Notre Dame players working out with our pitch. Yeah, I did see the guy doing like a leg press and had a pictures of. Okay, if that's what motivates you, big dog. You do what you got to do. Tomahawk Nate, Jason and Nate are the most annoying FSU football guys out there. Nate, you talking about Nate Greer? That's what you're talking about? Hey, y'all, no need to be comparing podcasts and live stream. We all knows. I listen to everything. If you're on the Discord, it's been rather quiet. All right, fellas, it's a school night, so I got. All right, Wayne, have a good night. POLK is by far the best, and he's been a real one. Very entertaining. Keep it up. Appreciate it. I think everybody's good, man. I think everybody brings their own style and flavor. So me talking isn't me trying to down. Like I want to be clear. I'm not trying to say I'm better or this person's better or anything like that. That's not the. I'm only stating that I find it interesting that everybody's making the YouTube move. Now, who's better and who's more entertaining? We all got our different preferences. Some people like funny skits. Some people like myself. I could listen to 2 hours of just a person talking sports talk. And so some people that might be boring. For me, it's not. Right? Different strokes for different folks. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody or anybody is better than anybody else. I'm only pointing out that everybody's making the move over to YouTube. And that I personally feel that I have a little bit to do with that. That's all I'm saying. We need Covis to come back. Cubby Noel was one of the first guys that I actually found on YouTube. If you guys don't know who Cubby is, he was one of the first guys that I saw do YouTube videos. Now, he didn't do like live streams. He would do like little 5-10 minute clips and just talk about Florida State stuff. He was one of the first guys I saw. Mr. A says, you in turn are definitely the entertaining FSU channels. We got a good chance to pull the upset. Hopefully Fuller. What's going on, Dylan? Hopefully Fuller and Marv don't screw it up. What happened to Covis? When does Norvell come on? Norvell Central? You mean Norvell Central? On Friday? Is that what you asking? Hey, Polk, when you getting Fuller on the pods? Man. I like how you present yourself because you're make it real. You're not acting up or putting on an act. You're just being yourself. That's been my thing from the jump, Jeff, is to be myself. No point of putting on an act or anything. I just want to come out here and talk and be myself. And DF says, I only watch Tahari Jones and Melissa Ford. Or DF is out there. And Noah Squad says true. Man, so we're going on 2 hours. Y'all know how I like to do on these head coach Norvell when he's coming on the live stream. You know, I'll probably these guys probably are never. Maybe if I become a credentialed media member, they might entertain me. Word is Kane Doe made the Chiefs roster. Think he should. Bud Elliott, a real dude. He don't sugarcoat stuff like war chant. Again, I reached out to the Nolecast. It was a no-go. But I did reach out to those guys and try to see if they were interested. But they weren't. But that's okay. But again, y'all know on these hangovers, I don't like to keep them too long because I got to upload them to Podbean and Spotify. So with that, we kick off game week with a good live stream. But there's so much more content to come here this week. So you guys stay tuned for all of that. And we're just going to keep working and grinding here, guys. Again, I always thank everybody who came in, showed the support. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Share these videos. Again, Tyler says you get the 5K subs and throw around, I feel like you could pull that. Well, if that's the goal, if 5K is the next goal, the only way we're going to get there is if you guys share it. You got a Facebook? Drop my videos on your Facebook page. You know, other Noel fans, put them on game. Say, hey, you might like this guy. He might entertain you when he talks Florida State football. You got a Twitter. Drop me on your Twitter, Instagram, whatever social. We all got social media. Whatever social media you got, share the videos, man. Always hit the like button. But most of all, I just thank you guys for showing up and showing the support. We got a big season ahead of us. I'm extremely excited. After game one, will I still be excited? We're going to find out. If you want to, man, game one's going to be entertaining regardless. I'm talking about post game one on here. It's going to be entertaining regardless. The question is, am I going to have a meltdown or am I going to, if it's going to be Mardi Gras on this thing? But again, man, I thank everybody who showed up. There's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. As always, stay classy, Seminoles, and get ready. It's Notre Dame time. Yeah, like Tyler says, please don't suck. I don't like. Again, I don't want to. I'm not about this. You know. Oh, I'm just happy to be here mentality. But damn it, just don't suck. If we put up 4 quarters and lose, I can live with that. But man, anyways, go Noles, man. Stay classy, Seminoles. We out here. See you guys later on this week and have a good rest of your night. Bye, guys.